Good morning, y'all. Just finished up the Murph challenge with a few folks from work, and it was awesome. Definitely wish we had more people turn out, but that's okay. We still made the most out of it, and we had a great workout. Everyone showed up, they put in their best effort, and really the most important thing with the whole entire workout today was to pay remembrance to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, right? That's why we have off on Memorial Day. That's the importance of this holiday, right? Is to take a second and really reflect on all of those men and women who didn't come home, you know? So sit in that. Like, ask yourself, am I living a life that really, truly is aligned with not just who I am, right? But it's all about the big picture. Am I living a life that, you know, ultimately, if these men and women were home with their families, are they living, would they be proud of me? You know, ask those kinds of questions, because that's the important stuff, right? Got my coffee, so definitely needed this little bit of a pick-me-up after that workout. I'll probably go home, make a really nice little brunch breakfast. It'll be a whole vibe. But I'm just really proud of everyone that did show up today. They busted their butts. You know, this workout, the Murph challenge, is not an easy workout. So I'm just really proud of everyone that showed up. You know, it's very much so mental more than anything. Because, you know, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, running a mile at the beginning and a mile at the end. Like, at the end, you're just tapped out, right? You're just done. You're like, I don't know how I can do this. I don't know if I can do it. But the one thing I just kept telling myself on repeat was, why? Why are you here? Why are you doing this? What is the importance of this workout? What is the significance, you know? And I just kept reflecting on when I was deployed, you know? When I was deployed, we did this workout in a haboob. It was literally a dust storm. We had to wait a couple of minutes for it to pass. Like, it's a whole other ball game when you're actually doing it overseas with the men and women that are literally putting their lives on the line for our safety back home, you know? So when you're in that kind of a zone and that kind of environment, you push yourself to a whole nother capacity, you know? And I just remember doing it when I was overseas without a weighted vest on, because I decided that I was going to be crazy and do like a 10K at the beginning of the day and then do a Murph challenge. So I didn't do it with the weighted vest, but I think I did it in like 42 minutes. So today, when I did it in 44:20, so under 45 minutes with a weighted vest on, I was really proud of myself. You know, I had to scale it back a little bit with doing like, you know, negative pull-ups, but still I was super proud of myself. And just to be able to say like I did that was awesome, right? And I want everyone to walk away from that workout proud, because it was a lot harder of a workout than I think people really anticipated until they got into it and they're like, holy shit, this sucks. I'm like, yeah, it does. Welcome to uncomfortable situations. But guess what? On the other side of that discomfort, you feel pride, you feel accomplished, you feel like you can handle hard things, right? So when you show up for yourself and you push yourself in those workouts, that's what I've learned, you know? And I push myself every single day in some way, shape, or form, in some capacity physically, because mentally it's a switch in my head of being like, you can do this, you can handle this. All you have to do is reframe it. All you have to do is reshift your perspective of what it is that is in front of you, and it's going to change the game, right? So yesterday I was at a few different stations, right? So the second station I was at, I came over there, I was kind of wiped, I was a little tired. I did a full body workout at one station, and then, you know, had dinner, went to another one. And then I was over at station 6. So they're a little bit busier than station 11. And 6 is kind of like the same area as me, over at 12, right off the boulevard. So I knew going into it, I was like, I'm not going to get much sleep before this Murph challenge. But that's okay. Yesterday, you know, got there, got myself settled in, and I walked, you know, that's it. I was like, I just want to do something outside of just, you know, typical cardio. But when I walk, I really focus on my intentionality of what I'm listening to, right? So it's either an audiobook, it's a podcast, something that resonates with me. And I found this podcast yesterday that I found was super awesome and very transformative. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Shetty. I'm a huge fan of him. He's awesome. He puts out great content every single week. And I just really found this amazing podcast about mindset. It's just like 7 mindset hacks, you know. And there were so many like important things and important takeaways from that I just kept like taking screenshots of all the things. I was like, oh my God, this is great. There was a few different things. I will say, like, one of the major takeaways for me was, you know, the narratives, the stories that you tell yourself are really everything. And your narratives really change the trajectory of how you show up for yourself and your interactions with everyone around you. So that was so critical for me in my healing journey last year, yet alone with where I'm at right now. Your stories that you tell yourself of who you are, what you've always done, they are so important, and they can either make you or break you. So do not be afraid to reinvent your narrative. Start fresh. Start a new narrative. You don't have to have the same old belief systems. You can change. You know, you aren't stagnant. You have the ability to adapt and grow. So watch the words that you tell yourself and what you say to yourself, because they're very important. That was one thing. Another thing that he said that I was just like, you know, insert tear down eye. He was like, when you love something, like for an example, when you love a flower, you don't pick it, right? When you like a flower, you pick it and you give it to somebody, right? But when you love a flower, you water it, you nourish it, and you watch it grow. So treat your body, treat yourself like that. Like, that's like the number one takeaway that I had from that whole podcast, is that we are constantly about like pushing out self-love right now more than ever. Like self-love, mental health, all these things. Yes, what does that look like? You know, are you really doing the work? Are you really loving yourself through those hard days, right? Like, nourishing yourself and your soul looks different for everyone, you know? And like, I'm not gonna lie, yesterday I was struggling because I didn't get that much sleep. I got to bed too late. And then like, I knew I was gonna be busy because of work, you know, I'm at a station that's busy. And luckily I was at a station that was a little bit slower at the beginning of the day. The end of the day, I was like, whoop, I ain't getting sleep tonight. But you make the most out of it. But now I'm like, I'm refilling my cup today, you know, I'm taking some time for myself. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna get some food, I'm gonna get a hot bath, and I'm gonna do some yoga, because Lord knows I need it, you know, and do some journaling and reflections, you know, it's so important. And I think everyone handles life differently, everyone handles challenges differently, but how you are looking at the challenge in front of you is everything. So I really hope this was very helpful for you in some way, shape, or form. Just trying to put out good content out there, give you tips and recommendations on like what's working for me. Hopefully it's going to help you along your journey to see success, and I will just keep posting videos and posting good content. I'll put the link for Shetty's podcast in the description so that you guys can check it out. Highly recommend him. He's such a profound person in our mental health industry. I don't want to say person, because he's a great public speaker. He used to be a monk. Like, there's so much about Shetty that I love. And he's just one of the many podcasters that I listen to that I found is so transformative. He's definitely all about living an intentional, purposeful life. And it's just an incredible podcast. So I highly recommend him. Check it out. I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day. Enjoy your families. Enjoy, you know, having some time off if you have it off. And if you don't, it's okay. Just really try to focus on living intentionally today. You know, be thankful for where you are. You don't have to be thankful for the struggle. You know, when you're struggling, it's hard. Accept it. Just be like, this fucking sucks right now. And that's all right. And you can be okay with that. But know that you got people. So, you always have somebody over here in your corner rooting for you. Just wanted to remind you that you can do hard things. You are far more capable than you think, and everything's gonna be all right. So have a great Memorial Day, y'all.